Morning PPA, it's Heidi Allen. Happy Monday. It's Motivational Monday, of course. It's a little cooler here in Toronto today, but oh my goodness, the sun is still trying to come out. And guys, it's the beginning of an incredible new week. What are you going to do this week? What is inspiring you this week? What is going to make your life fantastic this week? And of course, with Motivational Monday, I am super excited because we started it last week and it was so successful. So many incredible people actually just loved what we were doing. And it's called Ask Victoria. And so we're going to be talking to Victoria Lorient Fabish, and she's an incredible holistic psychotherapist. She's one of my dearest friends, and she is a brilliant, knowledgeable, incredible human being. She is an author. She's a motivational speaker. She is a coach. She is a psychotherapist, and we here in the PPA are incredibly grateful and so lucky to have this brilliant mind with us. So I just saw Victoria come on. So hey, Victoria, I'm going to join you in. So let me just add you. Technology. So we're going to have Victoria, and she's going to answer some questions. Hey, Victoria!
It's perfectly working.
Yes, look at us. We're so good.
We're so good. Hello, my darling woman.
How are you?
Well, what a weekend we had.
Yes, we
I'm
did.
still
Yes,
in the
we
energy
did.
of the weekend.
I know. If you weren't following us this weekend, Victoria, you were brilliant. You posted so many Facebook Lives. We were at the Positive People Army Impact Leadership Program. We had some incredible PPA members.
Oh, yeah.
Myself and Victoria and Michelle Smith, we co-facilitated this deep, intense, inspiring, incredible
Woo!
2 days.
And you know
It
what?
was
It's just the
amazing.
beginning. It's just the beginning.
Exactly. And today, of course, so Victoria, thank you again for joining us. I want you to kind of, every time, because we have new people sometimes that join us that haven't been with us. So why don't you just kind of give us like, hey, PPA, this is who I am.
Hi there, PPA, wonderful human beings. I'm Victoria Lorient Fabish. I'm a registered psychotherapist with the college, and I'm also a holistic psychotherapist. So I really bring in a holistic perspective to the work that I do. And I'm a speaker, and I'm an author. I've written a couple of books. And my really fun and interactive and lots of information website is visualizationworks.com, because you know what? Visualization works. And we did some of this weekend. Visualization really works. So that is essentially how you can find me.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad. Yes. And at the end, we'll give that again. And Victoria, I think it'd be really great if in the comments after we do the video that you put that website as well. So if people want to reach out to you, they're able to find you through that. And I think that'll be really great.
Absolutely.
So last week we started this. We had some pretty incredible questions last week. Very much, what I love is that people are sending in stuff about relationships that they're having in their life. And there's so many people joining us. Hey, Lori,
Thank you.
Come on. I saw Caroline come on. Bonnie's here. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we had some great relationship questions last week, and this week again, some fantastic questions. The very first one, we're going to get started right away because the very first one is a big one. It is a really big question. It is a very deep question, and so Victoria is going to dive in with us. So what the question is how do I get over the feelings I was a burden to my parents?
Yeah.
So that, I read that again. When we discussed this yesterday, it hit me pretty hard yesterday. It's hitting me right now, just how big this question is and the feelings that are going to surround something like that. So Victoria, I'm going to let you take the stage here and answer this question.
This is, believe it or not, as heavy as a question it is, it's a really common question. A lot of people come away from their childhood having experienced the information, whether it's an obvious bit of information that comes from the parents or just an osmotic kind of energetic piece of information that comes from the parents. And this is not about criticizing parents, because parenting is a really hard job. And some people, trying to make a living, they have many kids. life is busy, and they didn't go to school for parenting. And so parenting is tough, and it requires a tremendous amount of diligence and commitment to the craft of parenting. So what I'm here to say is this is not about a blame parent thing, but what it is that people, children, the child, we have a lot of a deep part of us called the hurt child. And it's a big wound. And it's a really big wound. And one of the things that I would say to a lot of people who feel that, like as if they were a burden in their parents' life, is there's this syndrome called the hard-working baby. The hard-working baby. In other words, there is a family culture. I talk about family culture, relationship culture, self-culture. But there is a family culture in which you don't get love or affection or kudos or celebration unless you've performed. So just being alive isn't enough in this family, you know, which in a healthy family culture, your existence, your very existence is cause for celebration. I know that when you are with your boys, you know, you really, Heidi, beautifully celebrate Michael and Hayden in a way that I tremendously admire you as a parent.
Thank you so much.
Do, because
they're beautiful humans.
But I know, I mean, you know what? It's not that common to have young people, teens, and you know, young adults to want to be around their parents like your kids do. And clearly, the reason that they do is they don't feel like they need to put on a full show for you to love them and appreciate and celebrate them. You know, they just got to show up and they're there and you're like, hey, I'm celebrating you. I treasure you as my kid. And that, Heidi, is to me what will prevent a person, a child, a human being coming up in a family and not feel like a burden. Because I know that Hayden and Michael do not feel like burdens in your family, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You know, you know, Victoria, everything you're saying, I can't even, because I feel that, and I love that right off the bat you said this is a very common thing.
Yeah.
Because it's true. There are so many people in family situations where, and their behavior shows that they're not getting attention for who they are. And sometimes it's like, you know, the only attention they get or the celebration or, you know, acknowledgement is if they either kick up such a stink and they're jumping up and down and look at me, or that, you know, they know that they have to get the straight A's or, you know, get into a good school or, you know, marry the right person, like whatever it is, that's the only time that they're seen,
heard. Like my hoop, you know, go through my hoop. I'm your parent. You need to climb or go through this hoop. And that's when I will give you my affection, my love, my appreciation. And even if you go, like I was just speaking with someone just recently who's in his, I would say, late 50s. And we were having he found out that we had just met, and I was having a conversation, and he found out that this was Friday. So he found out I'm doing the MPAC leadership facilitation. And he said to me, so that's interesting. Tell me what you're going to be talking about. I said, I'm going to be talking about boundaries. I'm going to be talking about family of origin. He says, oh, boundaries. I said, I said, how did that hit you? He says, well, you know, I have a problem with boundaries because my family is so invasive. And interesting, because he lives in this part of the world and they live in Europe, and it's just and I said, so what was it like is it with your sisters or with your parents? Or he says, no, with my father, I had to perform to get his attention. And with my sisters, I had to protect. So he always felt burdensome in the family. And he said, I said, so what does that mean in terms of your father? He says, well, I could have basically what I wanted, anything I wanted. I said, that's cool. But I needed to work really hard to have any kind of acknowledgement or affection. So people will have the goods. The car, the toy, the whatever. But what really people want, you know, tip, if you're going to be a parent or if you are a parent, one tip, really, all the kids really want is to be acknowledged. That's a big free gift you give your children. The gift
Yeah.
of I'm stopping and looking and seeing you. And I acknowledge you and I notice you. And I notice what your details are and what your excitement is and what your thing is and what your not thing is. And I see you. I'm actually present with you. And, that is the fastest way to change the feeling of you feel like a burden.
Wow.
I mean,
So going through, like, especially when you're growing up and you've had that,
yeah.
and now,
How do we get rid of it?
exactly. Now you're our age, and your entire life you felt like this burden,
Right.
because the only time, exactly what you said, the only time that you have ever received attention is from, something that you've done. Somehow you've impressed them, and they're like, oh, this is good. I love how you said, jump through my hoop and I will love you.
Yeah.
Right?
Jump
Jump
through
through
hoop.
the hoop
Yeah.
and I will love you. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, you have that feeling of burden. So now as an adult, and here you're an adult and you're a parent yourself or a grandparent or whatever it is, how do you deal with that feeling that is inside of you?
So this is a rewiring of your internal self culture. The family culture will basically train you how to be, and you will observe it and you will osmotically ingest it and metabolize it. So when you are rewiring your brain, your neural pathways to experience something other than what you were taught, it requires a formula that will create change. And the formula is very simple. It's awareness. So you become aware, you're aware, but awareness alone can do nothing. Number 2, courage, the courage to start to do something different. Number 3, persistence. Don't give up. Just because it's different from what you learned, it's going to feel uncomfortable, and you need to lean into the discomfort. And the most important thing is repeat, repeat, repeat. So that is the very basic formula for change. And then to support that, I recommend that people get into some psychotherapy, maybe get a life coach, maybe get some surrogate families members. Surrogate
That's
family
a
members.
good one.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with amazing surrogate family members. I had my challenges with my family, whom I love deeply and are my greatest teachers. And then I found people that weren't so challenging and that I could just relax, and I would experience some profound support and they became sort of the examples of how I want to interact with people. And so get some surrogate family. And then really importantly, develop an internal process of I love affirmations in which you talk to yourself in positive ways. And maybe today, at the end of our journey here today, I can leave you with an affirmation that would really help you to help whomever feels like a burden to lift the burden. To lift the burden. And so it's a process. And today, also work on healing the hurt child. The hurt child is kind of suffering. If you feel, and it's a common thing, because I bet you whomever feels like a burden, people feel, they don't just feel like a burden in their own family, but they feel a burden in their current family, in their own, adult family, possibly in their friendships, possibly in their career. It's like a pattern, feeling like a burden. And
100%.
It's all about lifting it.
I love that the very first thing you said was awareness, and I feel, this lovely PPA member, of course, everyone is kept anonymous with these questions, because I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable, that they can't send in a question, because, if it, it's a personal question that you don't want other people to know about. So you don't have to worry about that. It will always stay anonymous. But with this PPA member, the fact that she sent the question, that she has this feeling of burden, the awareness exists. So it's like, I really want this person to know you've already started. So
there it is.
Beginning. There it is. And then the next thing is, like, you said you have to start leaning into it. You have to start getting uncomfortable with shifting and changing the way you feel about things and deal with things. And that's the hard part, because I feel sometimes when these people have held on to that emotion and they've gone through, years and years and years and years and years of feeling like this. They've grown up. They're now an adult. It's just
Right.
like, well, you know what? I mean, I do hear this a lot. And Victoria, I know you hear this a lot. But it's like, they say, well, that's just the way things are. That's just the way my family is. And it's that answer that then says it's okay, and I will tolerate it, and I will keep this pain, and I will keep this hurt, because that's just the way it is. And just saying that alone is like, no, it actually doesn't have to be, because you say you can change your self culture.
That's right.
Your family culture may exist like that, right? But you can change your self culture.
And it's brave work.
Yes.
It's brave work. And,
yes.
When the first journey into self-culture is where you start to say, I don't identify with that family culture. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate the gifts of the learning that they've bestowed upon you. But you can say, I no longer vibrate to that. I no longer identify with that tribe energy. And that's hard. I mean, I'm not saying this is easy. I'm saying
none of this is easy.
None of it.
The emotion they're dealing with isn't easy. So why would getting through it and shifting it and getting to a better place in your life be easy? It's not going to be. So
the only thing that is easy, though, the only thing I do want to say that is easy is make a decision. Start with a decision. Decide. Once you decide, a lot of amazing things will follow from that decision. But you first have to say, right, this is what I need to do differently. This is what I no longer accept. This is what is right for me and what isn't right for me. This is my life. I'm living it. I decide.
Exactly. I decide. And then your other point that I just, I love so much, because I know you do this. You just mentioned that, and I know I've done this. Is create the surrogate families. It's the friendships. It's those other people that you bring into your life, and that saying, family, friends are the family you choose, and they truly are. And I feel like this weekend alone, when we did Impact, and we had those beautiful PPA leaders with us, and all of them, it was like one by one throughout the weekend. The closer they all got with each other and with us, and that bond that was created, more and more I kept hearing, I found my tribe. Like, this is my tribe.
That's right.
These are the people I want to surround myself with. These are the people that are celebrating me for just being me. Right? And that's the people. So if your family culture is making you feel like you are that burden, definitely figure out those emotions and, dive deep into it and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But then also find your tribe and the people that are going to celebrate you and pick you up and help you through this journey. And the PPA is the perfect place for so many of you to be.
That's right.
We're here for them, right, Victoria?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. And Heidi, you've just, you struck such a chord in so many people, because people are feeling like their family culture does not match them. And I do want to say, though, that, a lot of people try and change their family culture, try and change their family, the people, or try and blame and nail and say, and, they're looking for acknowledgement. And I don't blame you for looking for acknowledgement. I don't blame you. Like, whenever a family member of mine acknowledges any pain that I've gone through, it's like a freaking, light, a massive light gets turned on inside me. But I don't want to have to wait for that. You got to turn the light inside you on your own. You really do. It's a bonus. It's a cherry on the sundae when you get like, yeah, sweetheart, I'm sorry that happened. And I when that happens, it's like, it's a rare thing. It's like, literally, it's a millennium. It's like, it's amazing. But I am responsible, as are you, as are all of us, to turn on the light inside of us. That is what we have to do.
Yes.
That is what we have to do. And if we don't take responsibility for that, I'm sorry, but you're just going to sit in the dock. That old joke. How many Jewish grandmothers does it take to screw in a light bulb? I'll sit in the dock. Don't sit in the dark. I'm half Jewish, by the way. Um,
Oh my gosh, that's
so
so
I could tell
good.
that joke. I'm half Catholic, half Jewish. It's an interesting combo of guilt.
Yes, that's a very interesting combination. Oh
But
my gosh,
I
that's
just want
so
to make us
true.
laugh because,
Uh,
it's a serious topic, but we can bring in infused comedy, which I always do. Bring in
Of
the comedy,
course.
bring in the jokes. But because life is a joke, life is funny, but it's also darn serious. So,
Mhm.
lighten yourself up. Not only lighten yourself up, literally with comedy, laugh at yourself, but turn on your own light.
Yes.
Turn on
I
your
love that. I love that. Wow. Okay. That was phenomenal.
full.
Thank you so much for all of that advice. Anyone just joining us, please make sure to go back and listen to, the entire answer that Victoria has given. You laid out some incredible points there about the awareness, leaning into the discomfort, but, also surrounding yourself with other people, your surrogate family, your tribe, whatever you want to call it. And, really watch that. Like, you don't need to change your own family. It's about your own self culture. And I love that you just said, turn on your light and laugh. Bring some joy into your life when these things
Yeah.
are happening. Okay, we're going to get to the second
All
question
right.
now. Okay, so here we go again. So how do you deal with people who are holding a grudge? So
Yeah.
we got like some
Good
heavy
ones.
words here today. But you know what? We're gonna power through this one. So listen, there are some people in our lives where things happen and then they hold that grudge. They hold that grudge against a family member, a friend, a colleague at work, whatever it is, and that's hard to deal with, especially when you have to deal with this person on a regular basis, and you just want to say, my gosh, let it go. Like, I'm sorry. Like, let's move on. Or even if you have a spouse that, they're holding a grudge against someone you love, say, in your family,
Oh,
or whatever it is, it's like, oh my gosh, like that's hard. So what do you do in that situation?
well, first of all, there is a need, in my opinion, to accept the fact that the human condition is such that we tend toward grudge holding. Okay?
Mm.
It takes an evolved person to not hold a grudge. So
Mhm.
everybody have their hand up in the air who's held a grudge. Okay?
Oh my gosh,
Okay?
everybody's gone
All
there
right.
where you're just like, they bring that person up and that one memory comes up. It's like, oh, listen, you don't know what that person did to me. Like right away,
Of
right? We
course.
all
And
do
so
that.
I say to people, um, what playground do you want to play in life?
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yes.
that's what I want to ask you,
Mhm.
So, do you want to play in the playground that has sand and needles all in it and broken glass in the sand? Or do you
Mhm.
want to play in a sandbox that is clean, that is safe, that is freedom oriented, that like you can walk barefoot, you don't have to worry? That's what I want to ask the person who is holding a grudge, number one. But how do
Mhm.
you deal with people who are holding a grudge? I spoke on the weekend about the law of allowance.
Yes. Oh, yes. Please share this. It's
Yeah,
brilliant, PPA.
because the law of allowance doesn't mean that you're going to go and beg this person to not hold a grudge, or, hang out with this person that's holding a grudge, or try and convince them that you're a good person. Okay?
Mhm.
Maybe there's a few things you can do, but generally speaking, you can't control how other people feel, think,
Mhm.
or act. All you can
Mhm.
do is work on yourself. And that's the main thing. And I mean, everybody says that, but I'm really saying look inside, don't look without. But coping with someone who's holding a grudge is, I believe, a decision to allow them to be on the journey they're on, and and and
Mhm.
and not engage in what I call codependent behavior, which is where your self-esteem rises and falls based on how someone else sees or acts or speaks to you. I mean,
Mhm.
again, none of what I'm saying is easy, but it's a lot of tremendously good, a great outcome will happen if you work on that. If you work
Mhm.
on, and I've had people hold grudges toward me. What? I'm not perfect, Heidi. What? No, my point.
You're fabulous.
No, my point is that maybe I've made a mistake, or something has happened inadvertently, and they've, because a lot of what people are doing when they're holding a grudge, it's about them. It's about how
Mhm.
they experience life. You know,
Mhm.
they're choosing to not let go. They're choosing to see life through those bitter eyes, the
Mhm.
embitterment. So
It's almost like it's like their form of control. Their form
absolutely,
of
keeping
control
themselves
over
safe.
that. Yes, it's that control, that protective mechanism or whatever. You did something, so now I'm going to hold that grudge. Like I'm letting you know that like I have this
Well, but
over
it's
you.
isn't when a grudge is being held. I know that when a grudge was held against me by a dear family member, it's really because they felt unsafe to open
Yes.
a boundary. And
Mhm.
so all I can do is this: send love,
Mhm.
allow it to be there, the law of allowance. I don't accept it, but I allow it. I don't
Yes.
like it, but I allow it. And then
Mhm.
really I look for, and what the person who's dealing with the grudge being held, look for ways to practice your growth. Look for
Mhm.
ways to see these things as opportunities for growth. So
Mhm.
grieve and experience the pain. You've got to experience the pain, but then move past that pain and go, okay, I have an opportunity here to work emotional discipline right now, self-discipline. I
Mhm.
have an opportunity here to not have my self-esteem rise and fall based on that other person's vision of me. I have this,
Mhm.
I mean, it's really hard, but it's really amazing when you can do it. And I just
Mhm.
promise you that if you practice, this will be easier.
Mhm.
You cannot live your life looking for people to please and
Of
waiting.
course.
You just can't. You,
No, no, you can't. And it goes back to what we even just talked about with the first question
yeah,
about surrounding yourself with the surrogate family, with your tribe, with the
right.
people that are going to support you and lift you up and acknowledge you and celebrate you and all of that. So, but Victoria, I can't express enough because in a lot of ways, people, when they're dealing with someone that does have a grudge, it's that automatic amputation of that person out of your life. And I say the word amputation. Victoria talked about this on the weekend, and she used that word. She said, I don't necessarily believe in amputating someone out of my life just because of that. And in some cases, we don't know all the circumstances. Sometimes we do need to remove ourselves from certain people. So
Right.
we're not saying keep extremely toxic, dysfunctional, all of this in your life at
100%.
all.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is just someone is holding a grudge against you. And so the law of allowance, that is powerful,
Yeah.
Victoria. So powerful. The law of allowance. I don't have to like that you have a grudge against me. I don't have to love it. But I also don't have to, bow down to it.
No.
It shouldn't affect my self-esteem, but I allow it because it's your journey and not mine. So within me, I am taking care of myself. I am inspiring myself, motivating myself, making myself feel good, but allowing that person to go on their own journey. And that is incredibly powerful. And again, you mentioned this isn't easy. It's not, because like we all know what that feels like
Yeah.
when this person is holding a grudge against you.
Right.
You know what that is.
But there's a
But
discipline
that's their journey,
that is
right?
the discipline though is to work on and really see this, and I encourage people to go, okay, this person doesn't like and has held a grudge against me. Great.
Mm.
This is painful, and I get to practice being okay. This is a big tip,
Yeah.
everybody. I
Yeah.
get to practice being
Mhm.
okay even when someone doesn't like me or is
Yes.
angry at me. I get
Yes.
to practice compartmentalizing the
Mhm.
negativity so that it isn't like one drop of black ink coloring a full glass of clear, crystalline blue, beautiful water.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
I
I get to
agree.
compartmentalize,
Yeah.
it's a practice. Not everyone is able to compartmentalize, but these
Mhm.
experiences give you an opportunity to practice the very rich tool of compartmentalization.
Mhm.
So these are
Mhm.
all opportunities. And please look at life that way. Please look at
Yes.
life that way. See
Mhm.
them as opportunities.
Opportunities, growth, lessons, all of this, every single thing that is happening to us. And here in the PPA, we talk a lot about, everything does happen for a reason, all of it. And there are people that believe in that, but they have a difficult time believing it when it's something bad, when it's a struggle, when
Right.
it's pain. And all of those are doing the same things. And I love that you say that, these are opportunities to practice,
But also, I don't want to deny people's pain. So take periods of time in which you experience the grieving. I know I have done that, where you just sit in either a therapist's office or with surrogate family or kindred spirits, and you're like, oh, it's so painful when someone, when this person is holding a grudge and sending me negative vibes, and people are feeling the vibes. So what you have to do is just create a nice protective space, a nice protective, beautiful white light around you. Meditate on that and affirm that you are solid in yourself, no matter what other people think about you. I am solid in myself, no matter what other people think about me. That is a wonderful mantra or affirmation.
Oh my gosh. 100%. That is an incredible mantra and affirmation. And thank you for answering and your powerful, empowering, and inspiring answers. There are so many comments that are coming in. These two particular questions today have really affected a lot of people in the PPA. Thank you so much for your vulnerability in reaching out to us and letting us know. Of course, we'll go back and we'll read all of these comments. Thank you very much. And send your questions in. Privately message me with your questions. Again, we are keeping people's names anonymous so that everyone feels comfortable and safe and supported in this area. Victoria, you're fantastic. I love that you just finished there with a mantra, because I feel like we're going to end this today with, I'm going to have you take us through some affirmations that we can bring into our life. If you yourself are struggling with things like this, if you yourself are struggling with, I feel like a burden in my family or relationships or whatever it is, or you're dealing with people that, have a grudge against you, all of these feelings. And so I think let's start, Victoria, because this is definitely your wheelhouse, affirmations, mantras, all of that, and just kind of give a little information on why this is important and what these can do, and then we'll go into the affirmation.
Great. So I will. So affirmations, power statements, mantras are opportunities for you to rewire your brain that was trained from the family culture. So you may have these big neural pathways, thick highways in your brain that are saying, I'm not valuable. I don't really matter. I am profoundly impacted by what other people say, think, and do. And so we want to change those neural pathways. Thankfully, our brain is an elegant machine that can transform our very vibration. Because if you think differently, you vibrate differently, and then your life starts to change. Again, don't take my word for it or Heidi's word for it. You have to try this for yourself and experience it for yourself. And that is my challenge to you. So affirmations work. They've changed my life.
My life.
Yeah, exactly. And don't think that just because I teach this, I don't myself have to do affirmations on a daily basis. And I really recommend that you do. And hi, everybody who's joining. By the way, a lot of people are saying hello. I'm seeing it on my computer screen. I'm not ignoring you. I love you all. Hello.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you've joined us. So you're at this wonderful moment. There's a couple of key affirmations that I feel are just really important to really heal the stuff that we're talking about here, feeling the burden, and number one, use your name, so I, Victoria, or I, Heidi, I am a valuable human being, no matter what I think, say, or do. I am a valuable human being. If someone could write that down so we remember them. I am a valuable human being, no matter what I think, say, or do.
Yes.
So that you don't have to perform to feel valuable. You simply, for being who you are, being in this moment, you are valuable and you are lovable. Well, just put this word in. You are treasured, I am treasured, valued, and worthy, no matter what I think, say, or do.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this to you all. You are treasured, valued, and worthy, no matter what you think, say, or do.
Oh,
Okay?
that is so powerful. And it's something you like. I know for myself, I like to start my day with an affirmation.
Oh, yeah.
There are times throughout the day, depending on what you're going through, some like you can bring them into your day at any time. You can say them, write them. Thinking them, that's great, but it is definitely more powerful to say it and to write it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, 100%.
Say it out loud, write it down, use the various mediums, visualize what it feels like when you are experiencing that experience of I am, treasured, valued, and worthy. Visualize what that feels like.
Liz just posted it. Thank you so much, Liz, for posting that. I am treasured, valued, and worthy no matter what I think, say, or do. Thank you, Liz. That's so lovely of you to have done that. Yes, it is so important to feel that way. Anytime you're feeling like that burden, anytime you're feeling you're just not acknowledged by the people that are around you, don't let that family culture take you to that place that may exist, but in your self-culture, you are this person that is treasured and valued and worthy.
And what I want to say to people is like, well, if I were to steal, would I be treasured, valued, and worthy? If I were to this, look at, here's what I believe. Here's what I really believe.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, you deserve to feel treasured, valued, and worthy, and to be accountable for your actions. But to me, the road out of the negativity is to first feel like you are worth something. Because it's people that are hurting and feel like they're worth nothing that kind of perpetrate the negative acts. So even in prison systems, work that is being done currently by a variety of people is to even murderers, even people that they are learning how to treasure and value and love themselves no matter what. Because guess what? You just need to be alive to be loved. That's it.
Exactly. No, Victoria, I truly believe that the way we are going to shift this world to a positive place and take us out of this negativity that is happening, around us. We see it every day in the news. We see it. We do. It shows up in social media. It's all there. And until we all start looking within and realizing that we are worthy and we are treasured and we are incredible human beings, then that energy, that vibration will just start shifting everything.
That's right.
And then we just have an incredible, beautiful, positive world.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes, honestly, you I believe that. We are shifting and changing and making this the beautiful planet that it is and that we all are. Victoria, thank you for your wisdom, for your love, for everything that you bring to the PPA on a daily basis. Also, please, throughout the week, Victoria posts her own live videos. Tell them the name of the videos that you're doing right now, the courageous videos you're doing.
Yeah. So it's called Courageous Conversations, and I do my own. It's on my page, but also my group, Positive Self-Culture, Relationship Culture, Family Culture. Join in. I always post the recorded version on the PPA. And essentially, but if you want to join me live, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays essentially is when we're doing them. And I have these great guests that come on. I have a really great guest tomorrow, Jackie Sean, who's an amazing holistic practitioner who's transformed her life in courageous ways and has used natural ways to beautify you, but also internal beauty. So love Jackie Sean. She is amazing. And we have really just amazing, inspiring people and my own inspirational stuff that I just like tackle, and really say, let's be courageous and have courageous acts, courageous decisions, courageous choices, and courageous conversations. And everyone can find me generally in two places, visualizationworks.com, and I'll put that in the comments, and on my YouTube channel, Ask Victoria. And if you find me there, make sure you subscribe. But I just want to tell you that no matter what, I love being able to share my wisdom and the knowledge that I have, because I'm going to tell you something. If I can't share it, it's worth nothing.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you
And
can
that
be the gift of being able to share.
That's what the PPA is about. It's
Yeah.
about sharing and supporting and caring for each other.
That's right.
And that's why this community is so powerful and inspiring on a daily basis. So you know how grateful I am to have you in this space and to inspire people. So thank you for that. Hey, listen, PPA, send me your questions. Mondays, 9:30, Victoria will join me again for Ask Victoria here on our Motivational Monday.
Woo!
Because we're hitting some really deep questions here, and I love that the PPA is going into that vulnerable place and sending them in, because number one, you've already started. You have the awareness. If you're asking the question, you've already begun.
Absolutely.
And that's incredible.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Victoria. Thank you.
Too.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get back to all of you throughout the day. Bye, guys.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.